Mo Shaban would get into the numbers for us. But so Mo, let's get into let's start from the head-to-head. Okay, let's start from the head-to-head. So both teams and their meetings in recent times. What do you have for us on that?
Well, so we have a lot of data to talk about today, and we are building up to the Sunday's Super Clash, like you said. Sunday will be 120th league clash between Kotoko and Hearts of Oak since 1958 and 1993-94 professional league, and it's been so competitive between those two teams. But then this is the total figures between these two teams: 119, and Kotoko dominate with 41 wins, and Hearts of Oak 38. And clearly, if Kotoko should win this time, they are going to extend their win to 42, and currently 38 and 39, 40, 41. That's 3 wins difference. And again, if Heart of Oak should win, they are going to now close the gap to 2 wins difference. And this game is so important to Heart of Oak in closing the gap. And if Kotoko wants to extend their lead on top, they would also have to win this game. And of course, if you look at Kotoko's performance in recent years against Heart of Oak, they've been very dominant, and especially the last 2 seasons, Heart of Oak are winless against Kotoko. The last 2 seasons, their meetings, Kotoko have won 4 of their last 5 games against Heart of Oak, and that tells you that in terms of performance, it is a big advantage for us. I want us to look at this statistics. This is the last 15 meetings between Kotoko and Heart of Oak, and I want you to look at the pattern. There's this clear pattern between Kotoko and Heart of Oak, and it is either 1-0, 1-1, or 0-0. We had only one odd season, and that one odd season is the 2023-24. You know what happened here? All matches were played at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, and it changed the narrative of the game. Now, in 2016, let's go through, and you get to understand the pattern. 2016 to 2025-26 or 2024-25.
So that in the last 10 years.
Yes. So apart from that odd season, one season would have to, one of the legs would have to end in a draw, and one leg would have to go in favor of a team. So this is a 2016 1-0 for Kotoko, the second leg 1-1. 2017 1-0 for Heart of Oak, the next leg 1-1. 2020-21 0-0, and then Heart of Oak 1-1-0. 2021-22 0-0, and then Kotoko 1-1-0. 2022-23 1-1, and Heart of Oak 1-1-0. 2023-24, like I said, it's a special season. Kotoko won both home and away, and even with the scoreline, it's different from all the records among Heart and Kotoko since 2016. Then 2024-25 went back to the usual 1-0, 1-1, and then it happened 0-0, Kotoko 1-1-0. Then 2025-26, Kotoko won the first leg. Statistically, on Sunday, it should end in a draw. It should end 0-0 or 1-1.
So looking at the trend analysis, it's most likely this Sunday's game would end in a draw.
Yes.
So it could be 1-1 or 0-0. That's based on the trend. 1-1 or 0-0.
But
based on the trend.
But before 2016, a lot of some of the games had been very high scoring. I remember,
I'll take it
back in the day, played this crazy, was it 3-3? Yes. 07, 08.
Yes.
But based on the last 10 years and their last 15 games, it's almost looking like we would see a draw on Sunday.
Yes. If one leg ends,
whether it's going to be a ball draw or a score draw, we can't really tell. So this will be for our sporty plug fans. This is one you should take note of. But so Mo,
they are taking notes, right?
Yeah, they are taking notes.
Possible draw
0-0 or 1-1.
Based on this.
Based on this, yes, right.
Yes, this is the
trend.
statistics.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you something. This is the last time Heart of Oak beat Kotoko. 2023 1-0. That was when Kunedu Yadom scored a header, and that was when Heart of Oak brought in Kunedu Yadom. And the first round, Heart of Oak failed to win. The second leg, Heart of Oak won, and it was the last time they won. This is 2 consecutive seasons: 2023-24, 2024-25, and so 2 consecutive seasons Kotoko have dominated. And you know what? If on Sunday the game should end in a draw, it means that Kotoko have dominated Hartlepool for 3
seasons. Yeah.
If Kotoko should pick a point against us, it will be 3 seasons consecutively dominated by Kotoko in 6 league matches, with 4 of the games going in favor of Kotoko and 2 ending in the draw. For now, we have 1 draw, and we are looking at the last one ending in the draw. Now, let me take you through some facts again. And this is from 2020-21, and this is done because from 2020-21 we moved from the 16 Premier League team to 18. So a new era, and we are looking at the performance of both teams, and clearly 0-0-1-0, 0-0-1-0, and that was the same pattern. But you see, let me take you through one key pattern of both sides. Since 2020-21, take note that in Hartlepool Kotoko games, the coach who is in charge of Asante Kotoko, before he can win against Hartlepool, should have a previous positive records against Hartlepool with another team before the coach can dominate Hartlepool. And that is why it looks like Kotoko wants Hamza Obeng to take charge. Why? If you don't have a good track record against us in your previous club, there's no way you can beat Hartlepool. Let's
break it down. Yeah.
2020-21. Now in 2020-21, Kotoko did not have a top coach in charge in the second round, as at that season Maxwell Kunudu has left the club, and so it was difficult for them to beat. Then it was the season when Dr. Prosper Nateogum was in charge of Wafa.
Okay.
Take note, in match day 34, when Hartlepool won the Premier League, the match day 34 was also a coronation game between Hartlepool and Wafa. Wafa won 1-0. When Wafa won 1-0, it was a season when Hartlepool won the first leg. But previously, Wafa have dominated Hartlepool.
Yeah.
And under Dr. Prosper Nateogum. So he came for the job as Kotoko head coach. And this is what happened. In 2021-22, he went unbeaten against Hartlepool. Drew the first leg, won the second leg 1-0. Then he left the club.
Yeah.
When he left the club, they went in for Zebu. When Zebo came in 2022-23, they drew 1-1 and lost to Hartlepool because he did not have any good record as a coach before taking over Kotoko. Then he also, the doctor returned back as a coach, dominated the 2 seasons, won home and away 3-2, 2-0 against Hartlepool. Then again they went in for Abdul Karim Zito. These are the games for Doctor. He played this game, this match. He won back to back, and then in the second round he left Asante Kotoko. They went in for Abdul Karim Zito, and guess what? Proud to Abdul Karim Zito's turn as Kotoko's head coach, he's gone 7 consecutive games unbeaten as Dreams FC head coach against us. He had a better records against Hartlepool as Dreams FC head coach.
Yeah.
In fact, in his last game as Dreams FC head coach against us, he won 1-0. He took over, he played 2 matches in the league, won 1, and then drew 1. And then this fixture, clearly Kotoko is going in with a coach who does not have a positive record playing against Hartlepool. And that is where it becomes a problem. Maybe because of this history and statistics backing the draw, it could be a big advantage.
But so again, Nathan, based on this trend, and Mo, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Prince Owusu, who has not had any prior experience beating Hartlepool, might end up like Zebo. There's a possibility they could lose this game.
Okay.
Because when we talk about experience of playing Hartlepool, he doesn't have it.
Yes.
All the other managers who have done their job for Kotoko against us, Karim Zito, Prosper Ogum, have all had the chance of beating Hearts with other teams.
Yeah.
Now Prince Owusu comes in tabula rasa, and clearly he could struggle to do the job just like Zito and Prosper Ogum did previously. So again, another statistic or another fact to look at for those who want to play their games. For sporting plug guys, take notes. The coaching factor, the experience of Prince Owusu going into a game against Hearts compared to Karim Zito and Prosper Ogum, a bit problematic. So again, we are possibly looking at a win in this instance. There's a possibility of a win in this instance for Hearts.
Because Prince Owusu doesn't have
possible draw. It's about 70.
Yes.
A draw is
most likely.
It's a likely result.
Again, if you want to look at those who have won against Kotoko or those who have won against Hearts with previous experience, then Prince Owusu doesn't tick that box, correct? And so again, if Didi Dramani comes in well, he could get a win in this one. Shaban.
Well, so you spoke about Didi Dramani. Before I look at these statistics, on paper, Didi Dramani against Kotoko yet to end in a draw. And it is also a possibility that Sunday we are going to see a win. You see, we've looked at the general statistics where it tells us a possible draw. But Didi as a coach is here to draw against Kotoko. And in the President's Cup, he lost to Kotoko 2-1. In the top 4, he beat Kotoko 2-0. In the league game, he lost to Kotoko 1-0. In 3 matches as a coach of Hartlepool against Kotoko, the games are yet to end in a draw. And possibly on Sunday, per the coaches' records data, there should be a win between Didi Dramani and Prince Owusu. Now, this is Kotoko and Hartlepool. Kotoko is the home side. Hartlepool is the away team. Interestingly, Kotoko have scored 28 goals, and the second most goals scored club in the Premier League now. Hartlepool is the second least in terms of goals scored, and that is 15. 11 Wonders currently at the bottom of the league have scored 14 goals, and Hartlepool have scored 15. And it's also something difficult. But you see, there's a positive record for Hartlepool. They are the side with the most away wins, 5. Again, in the 15 goals scored, they scored 9 away, 6 home. 9 away, 6 home. Hartlepool in the last 2 away games are yet to concede a goal. Hartlepool have won their last 2 away games. Hartlepool have scored 4 goals in their last 2 away games and yet to concede against Hoko United and against 11 Wonders. And in general, Hartlepool have played 11 away matches this season in the Ghana Premier League. They've won 5, they've lost twice. They lost to Karela United at the Tamale Stadium, and they lost their second away game against Mediama Sporting Club, also at the TMA Stadium. So Hartlepool also losing away is possible, and clearly records says that if Hartlepool are going to lose, they are not going to score. Losing 1-0 to Karela away, 2-0 to Karela away, 1-0 to Mediama away. They fail to score in those fixtures. And so a good record for Hartlepool, having scored 9 of their 15 goals scored away and 6 at home, tells you that they have a good record. Now, let's look at Asante Kotoko. And for Asante Kotoko, out of the 28 goals scored in the Premier League, majority of the goals have come at home. 21 at home. 21 at home and 7 away. And so clearly Kotoko is a good side in terms of goal scoring at home. Now let's look at some facts again in terms of the goals scored. And in the 28 goals scored by Asante Kotoko, 17 of the goals have come in the second half. Second half 17, first half 11. Second half 17, first half 11. And so Kotoko is a good side at home in 21 goals scored in a possible 28, 7 away. However, in the 28 goals scored by Asante Kotoko, in the first half they scored 11. In the second half they scored 17 of the goals. That gives them a big advantage against opponents in the second half. Guess what? We are looking at Hartlepool Kotoko, and it is key that we look at the performance of the players. Currently, if you pick Kotoko's top scorers in the Premier League, I'm sure the absence of Albert Amwa at a point had a big effect on the side, because before he left Kotoko, he scored 2 goals in 3 matches. He returned in about 3 matches, he scored 1, and in total, so far in the Premier League, in 5 matches, he scored 2 goals. And clearly, averagely 2 goals, 2 games, one goal, and that is something good, and that is where it puts pressure on Hartlepool, because it's one of the players that in about 2 matches he will give you one goal. Now we are going to look at.
But Mo, let me take you back a bit. Now, if you look at the form guide per the numbers, Hearts of Oak are top of the table when it comes to away performances. They have been very dominant away from home.
Yes.
So just like Shaban said, in 11 games, they've picked up as many as 19 points. Now, you look at Kotoko on the other hand. They don't particularly have a very good home record, despite the fact that they've scored a lot of goals at home. If you look at the home performance in the Ghana Premier League this season, you talk about Mediama, you talk about Samatex, Gold Stars, Nations, Bechim, you talk about Dreams, Holy Stars, Karela, Heart of Lions, even before you get to Kumasi, Asante Kotoko. Looking at the two contrasting starts both teams have, and knowing very well that yes, this is a derby, are we going to see Hearts of Oak's dominance away from home possibly, turn around the scoreline in this one?
Two key things to watch out for on Sunday. The last time Hearts of Oak beat Kotoko in Kumasi in the Premier League was way back in 2015. Take note, 2015. It means that Hearts of Oak beating Kotoko in Kumasi is something difficult for them to do in recent years. Now, aside that, Kotoko are unbeaten in the Premier League at home in the last 21 league games, currently holding the longest unbeaten home record in the Premier League. And that is also the advantage they have going to the game. Now, this season, Kotoko have done 10 matches as compared to Hearts of Oak, who have done 11 away games, winning 5, drawing 4. Kotoko, on the other hand, have done 10 games in the league at home this season. This is their 11th home game, and they've won 6, drawn 4. And the likes of Bekum Chelsea, Mediama Sporting Club, Heart of Lions are teams that went to Kumasi to pick a point. And there's something interesting. Before Kotoko started their 21 game unbeaten run, it was Heart of Oak that they started with. That was previously they lost to Nations FC in 17th November 2024. After losing to Nations on the 17th of November 2024, that game was played at the Obuasi Sports Stadium as Kotoko's home game. Then they decided to move their home games to Kumasi. Then that game against Heart of Oak was played on the 15th of December 2024. And after winning that game, that is 1-0 Abet Amwes goal, Kotoko have been consistent in terms of a home performance. And in the 21 games played, they've won 16 and drawn 5 of the games. And so, though we've seen Samatex perform well, we have Mediama Sporting Club unbeaten this season, Samatex unbeaten this season at home, Nations FC unbeaten this season at home. Irrespective of the draws, Kotoko are churning out at home. Their worst results this season at home have not been a defeat. At least they managed to pick a point, and that also puts these dynamics into
the draw category.
Category.
So Nathan, again, if you look at this start, Hearts of Oak, very good away travelers. Kotoko, fantastic record at home. It again points to the draw. It again points to the draw. So if Kotoko are not going to end up losing the game, and if Hearts of Oak are very good travelers, then you are possibly going to see two teams who would not want to allow anything to go under the bus. And so we'll see. Mo, let's continue.
Let's continue the conversation. This is Kotoko's last 5 home games, and this is great performance. They failed to score in only 1 game. And let's look at Kotoko. And there's something positive around here. That is in terms of goal scoring. 6-3-1-2. Conceding just 2, and that is against Mediama Sporting Club. Now let's look at the top 4 teams in there, and clearly Heart of Oak is part of the top 4 now. And among the teams Kotoko have defeated or played against the last 5, only Mediama FC were part of the top 4. Now in that fixture, Mediama, who were part of the top 4, scored twice against Kotoko. But opponents who are not part of the top 4, like Dreams FC, Bechim, Chelsea, Holy Stars, were all sides that were not too difficult for Kotoko to play. Though Bekum Chelsea managed to pick their points, Bichim considered 6, Dream Chelsea considered 1, and Baseke considered 3. And so statistically, Kotoko also keeping clean sheets at home in their recent performance is high, and that also changed the dynamics of the game. For Mediama Sporting Club, at the point, they had a good team, they had good attackers, they are free scoring side as compared to Hartlepool, who are not free scoring side, and that also shows that the worst results for Kotoko could be a draw, especially against a side that is part of the top 4. Now, look at Hartlepool's last 5 away games, and this is also the pattern. With Hartlepool's last 5 away matches, Hartlepool are also showing signs of keeping clean sheets. Though they lost to Karela, they lost to Mediama Sporting Club. In 3 of their 5 away matches played, they've kept clean sheets. And also, Hartlepool will either score or you score and you will not equalize. And so if Kotoko should score first against Hartlepool on Sunday, it's a defeat for Hartlepool per their last 5 away matches, because there's no 1-1, 2-1, 3-2, but there's a goalless draw.
Right.
There's a goalless draw, but there's no 1-1, 2-2 in there. So possibility, if Kotoko should score first, that is it for Hartlepool. If Hearts should score first, when you hear goal on Sunday and it's Hartlepool, then you are going to win by 1-0. If it's Kotoko who scores, then it is going to also end by 1 goal or 2-0. And if both sides fails to score in about 70 minutes of the game, possibility we are going to record their scoreline against Adriana FC, which ended 0-0. That is it. Now let's switch focus to something interesting. Now, with this, I am going to merge the other short stoppers who are playing for both sides, Kotoko and Hartlepool.
Okay.
Mohammed Kamara is the number 1 for Kotoko, and that is why he's been used for the stats. And then Benjamin Asari is the number 1 for Hartlepool, and he's also found here. But there's a lot of talks around Solomon Agbesi and Benjamin Asari. Solomon Agbesi has 7 clean sheets as a shot stopper. Benjamin Asari has 8 clean sheets as a shot stopper, and Sharif Shwaib has 1. In total, 21 matches. Hartlepool's 3 combined goalkeepers have given 16 clean sheets. And Kotoko's 2 goalkeepers combined this season, Dari Aziz Haruna and Mohammed Kamara, they've given Kotoko 13 clean sheets, with Mohammed Kamara giving Kotoko 10, and also Dari giving Kotoko 3. In total, 13. So in terms of goals conceding, Hartlepool are very good with 16 clean sheets in 21 games, managing to concede in about 5 matches, and that's a positive one, right? That's positive.
Yeah, that's positive.
Having been able to keep some clean sheets. But you see, with Benjamin Asari, look at the losses as a shotstopper for Hartlepool. In 11 appearances, Hartlepool have lost once with Benjamin Asari as a goalkeeper. And guess what? It is a defeat against Kotoko. Benjamin Asari's defeat 1 is the first leg, match day 9 encounter, where Morifin Donsu scored his first goal, and it was a game that Hartlepool considered first in the first half. That was the very first time this season Hartlepool were conceding in the first half. And so I think if any team could score Benjamin Asari or defeat Hartlepool with Benjamin Asari in post, that is only Asante Kotoko.
Because
So
they've done it before.
don't be surprised if Hartlepool are defeated with Benjamin Asari, because he's lost to Kotoko as a shot stopper. But then also in terms of clean sheets, he has 8 in 11 games, conceding just 4 goals, and two of the goals came against Gold Stars. The 2-2 encounter at the Accra Sports Stadium. And so Benjamin Asari is one top shot stopper to watch out for. For Mohammed Kamara, interestingly, Hartlepool Kotoko in the Premier League, Kamara is yet to concede a goal. Is yet to concede as a shot stopper against Hartlepool, as compared to Benjamin Asari, who has conceded against Kotoko. Kamara is yet to concede a goal, and that is also the difference. Let's look at the stats in general. 10 games, 10 clean sheets as compared to 8, 12 goals conceded as compared to 4, 8 wins, 6 wins, 4 draws, and 4 losses, 1 loss, 4 Benjamin Asare. And again, a possible draw.
This is
appeared. They all have 4
the voice of sports.
going into the fixture on Sunday, and that is the 2 goalkeepers. Now let's look at.
Let me bring you back to the goalkeepers. Let me bring you back to the goalkeepers. Hearts of Oak this season have considered only 7 goals all competition or all tournament. Now, what has accounted for Hearts of Oak's very good defensive display? Would you put it down to the brilliance of their goalkeepers, or they just have a very good defensive unit that seems to protect their goalkeepers a lot?
Well, we have the squad. We are going to look deep into how both teams are performing.
Okay.
But it looks like the shot stoppers are on top. Benjamin Asare, Solomon Agbesi are top shot stoppers. Some of the saves they've done has actually kept Hearts of Oak in some of the games, and so it is key that we pay attention to the performance of these shot stoppers. But this is the 2 players to watch out for. And Albert Amwa is back, and I'm sure he's the biggest motivation for Kotoko. You can imagine Kotoko without Albert Amwa this Sunday. It's going to be monitoring those who Kwame Poku and the absence of Peter Amiduakwa. Peter is currently not part of the squad because of injury. And in the first round, Peter was the tormentor, creating all the decent chances, creating the penalty against Hearts of Oak. And it's unfortunate that we are going to miss him in the Super Clash. Mauli Wayo currently is the top scorer of Hearts of Oak, having scored 5 goals in 18 matches. And it looks like, in terms of stats, Albert Amwa is ahead 5 matches, 3 goals, 18 games, 5 goals. Obviously Albert Amwa, but for Mauli Wayo, he's not an out-and-out striker. He plays as a winger, being forced to lead the attack for Hearts of Oak. Having played for King Faisal, BBN Gold Stars, he's now gained the experience. For Albert Amwa, he's played for Olympics 1 season before signing for Asante Kotoko last year. Then this year, at a point, he left to Libya. He's back again in the Kotoko team. 2 assists, 1 assist, 2 MVPs. And Mauli Wayo is yet to receive a Man of the Match award after 18 matches played. And we are looking at a team with most attackers. Clearly, it's Asante Kotoko, Albert Amwa, Peter Amiduakwa, Saka Dauda, Inusa Adams, Kwame Poku, Morifin. So these are all attackers. In the absence of Peter Amiduakwa, they still have Inusa Adams as a winger, Saka Dauda as a winger, and that gives them the advantage. They are going to be complements of Albert Amwa, Kwame Poku as well. I've watched him train, and it looks like his confidence level is up there. Albert Amwa, no doubt, a very good player for Asante Kotoko. And then Mauli Wayo and Hamza. Hamza has scored 4 goals, and if you look at the 4 goals Hamza has scored, Mauli Wayo, who is a winger, has 5 goals. And in total, the 2 attackers combined 9 goals for Hearts of Oak. I'm not surprised that Hearts of Oak have only scored 15 goals, with Kevin Osesibi also scoring 1 from the sports kick, and that is a big disadvantage going into the game. Now, I want us to look at...
so both players, Wayo has never scored against Kotoko.
Wayo is yet to score. His goal was disallowed in the first round, and Albert has scored against Hearts of Oak.
So going into the game, there's a player who...
His goal was correctly
disallowed.
Correctly disallowed. Yeah. Brilliant decision by the officials on the day to have caught it as it happened. Oh, that was good.
But Albert Amwa has a goal against Kotoko. So against Hearts. Sorry. And so again, for those of you who want to pay attention to goal scorers, Albert Amwa has been able to put the ball behind any Hearts of Oak goalkeeper. So that's what you should take note of.
Playing against Hearts of Oak is something normal for Albert Amwa. I watched him the first round last year. And if you look at
this is Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
We do a lot of work. Eventually, the last minute chance that blender between Benjamin Asare and Kevin Osesi that led to his important goal against Hearts of Oak. Now let's look at the Kotoko team. Possibly starting 11. Morifin those 4 goals, Albert Amwa 3 goals, and Walid Fuseni is not been consistent in the midfield. And it looks like Prince Owusu will now adjust to the 4-3-3 formation. And Abdul Karim Zito, they were playing the 4 attackers. And the 4 attackers has to see Saka Dauda join the midfield, Peter Amiduakwa join the midfield with Prince Bedu, Hubert Jewu, and 2 attackers as well. So Kotoko in the game were going with 4 strikers. Now in the absence of Peter Amiduakwa, they would have to adjust and then bring in Morifin Dons, who is a striker, And Morrison Dosu's work or role will be to attack the Hartlepool defense because he has the pace. Though he's not scored a lot of goals, with 4 goals, he has the pace, he has the speed, and can mount pressure on the Hartlepool defense because possibly Hartlepool are likely to go with a 3-back system. Then Albert Amwa usually would be as a center forward, but will be rotating with Saka Dauda. Usually because of his pace, he can also join from the wings to put more pressure on the Hartlepool defense. Saka Dauda also as a winger will be part of the team. Now, Prince Bedu has adjusted to Kotoko squad quickly since signing for them the January transfer window. Hubert Jehu has got 4 goals, and Walid Fuseni, who has not been consistent in terms of performance. At a point, maybe a lot of people will be thinking about Emmanuel Enchi getting the nod to start, but Walid in recent games has been part of the Kotoko squad, and that gives him the advantage over all the midfielders. And so they would have a number 10, like the fans are complaining that Kotoko is playing without a number 10. But when Zito was using the 4 attackers, he goes with Hubert Jehu and Prince Bedu, and so they didn't have a number 10 that will be doing the ball distribution. Walid Fuseni will be doing that job. The wing backs, Lord Amwa will return. He's back from injury. Joseph Amwa, and he's been playing ahead of Patrick Esidu recently. And one of the best centre backs, Samba Unel, he's got 4 goals to his credit as a centre back. He has 4 goals, Hubert Jehu 4 goals, Albert Ama 3 goals, Morrison Donsu 4 goals. And so if you look at the Kotoko goal scoring path, it's spread across the strikers, the midfield, and even the defense. And then Henry Ansu and Lord Ama. For Mohammed Kamara, we've spoken extensively about him, and we want to see how this Kotoko squad, pacing Kotoko attackers, would attack the best defensive setup team in the Ghana Premier.
Now, wait, let's go back to Kotoko. Now, looking at this team, what is the weakness in this team?
Well, let's look at the strength and weakness of the team. The biggest strength of Kotoko has to do with their 3 front line. And that is Morrison, Albert Saka. On any day, you'll be punished if you allow them spaces. And they love to play the high press and make sure that it becomes a challenge for you defending. And when they play that high pressing football, you would now have to fall back and play as a defensive setup team. And that is where they get to dominate, distribute the passes. You watch them against Karela, they won 4-2. Against Baseke, they won 3-0. Against Bichim United, they won 6-0. And that is the level at which Kotoko attacks. They go with all their strength and make sure they frustrate you. Now, the biggest weakness of Asante Kotoko is their midfield. Their midfield, because Walid Bedu are more offensive. Now they'll be left with Prince Bedu, and Prince Bedu would have to do all the defensive work, tackling, ball distribution, and if the midfielders of the opponent overtakes or overshadows Prince Bedu, then it becomes a problem. You know his tackles as well. He goes in for dangerous tackles, and when he's frustrated, possibly he's going to go. Then one biggest problem of the Kotoko defense has to do with their other centre back, Henry Ansu. And so if Hartlepool wants to take advantage of Kotoko, usually they have to break on the counter, because Samba Unel is so confident that whenever he attacks, he can get a goal. And that is when sometimes he overlooks the defensive duties. And when he overlooks the defensive duties, if you are clinical, it gives you an advantage. But again, the draw, because though we are looking at the Kotoko weakness, Hartlepool's attack have not been clinical in the Premier. Even at home, they've not been. Hartlepool at home in 10 matches have won only 4. And with home advantage, creating decent chances, outplaying opponents, it's been difficult for them to score. And so the Kotoko weakness, that is their defensive and midfield, it still makes it difficult for Hartlepool to,
because they may not be able to explore
to their satisfaction. And maybe for the first time we are going to see a different Hartlepool. It does happen where sometimes you see a different Hartlepool going into the game, but this is Accra Hartlepool. And you see, we look at the Kotoko midfield of 3. We spoke about Kotoko allowing their opponent to overshadow them. Now, this is Hartlepool. Possibly they are going to have about 5 crowded midfielders.
Mm-hmm.
And why are they having 5? The 2 wing backs join the midfield.
Yeah.
And this is also a plus for Kotoko, where the 3 attackers with high pressing would have
They
that
find the
advantage.
spaces, yeah.
They find the spaces. It happened in the first round at the Accra Sports Stadium, where Kotoko actually controlled the heart attack. Peter Midu Aqua. Kotoko had to play in the 3 back. Ali Mohammed Opon and Isibe. But that first round, it was Ali Mohammed, Baba Damu, and
Baba Damu. I think Baba Damu played on the left-hand side of the back. He really struggled. He struggled that game. He really struggled that game.
Also struggled.
Yeah.
Because at a point it was difficult. Then the right wing back,
Amankwabe.
You know why? His role is to attack and join the defense. Now the wingers, the attackers of Kotoko were giving him too much work, and he got tired.
Yeah.
And eventually decided to bring Peter because that
it was a very lazy challenge.
Yeah.
Lazy challenge.
And so that was why they considered. Now, Opon is back at the point he's captain hard to full. It looks like he's building up gradually, picking up his momentum. And then we have Kevin Osei and Ali Mohammed. These are the 3 center backs, and the only changes is that the first round it was Baba Damu, and this time it is going to be David Opoafani, who brings in a lot of experience. Now, Heart of Oak will have advantage in the midfield because of the 2 wingers or wing backs joining. Gordon Kujo, who is versatile, possibly getting the advantage. So he has 2 assists to his credit. Then Amankwabe also having the advantage. But for the first time, Heart of Oak will have a lot of options in the midfield. Hussein, Rafael Amponsa, Dian Abdul Karim will play as a central midfielder, with Hussein playing as an attacking midfielder. This is where Heart overshadows Kotoko. Now let's do the comparison.
This is Sporty FM, the voice of sport.
Hubert. Obviously, among the 3 midfielders, you can only talk about Hubert Jehu, who is good in terms of long range balls and a good passer of the ball. But you come to Heart of Oak, you talk about Hussein, he's got the pace, though he's not clinical like Hubert Jehu, but then he got the pace, he can run, he can tackle. Talk about Rafael Amponsa, he is a defensive midfielder, he's going to play the pivot role, as Prince Bedu is also going to play. But Prince Bedu is now fitting into the Kotoko team. Rafael Amponsa has been consistent in the Heart of Oak setup, and did he likely to go with 2 pivots, where Abdul Karim, who is also with the experience, also going to join the midfield. So Heart possibly to overshadow Kotoko in the midfield. Kotoko possibly to overshadow Heart of Oak from the wings. And that is Kotoko now going to look for space from the wings, and that is the advantage. And so when Saka is with the ball, it is going to be dangerous for Heart of Oak. When Morrison is the ball, dangerous. When Abet is with the ball, it becomes difficult for Heart of Oak to bring them down. But then in terms of midfield, Heart of Oak would have a lot of men dominate, and you can imagine a side that is dominating in the midfield against a side dominating from the flanks. When the balls are not moving to the flanks, it will be difficult for them to control the ball. But the biggest strength as well is Kotoko's wing backs. They are very good, and so sometimes if we are doing illustration, you can see that Joseph will join Morrison, Lord will join Saka. So possibly Kotoko could have about 6 men joining the Heart of Oak attack, a defense, and that puts more pressure on them. But this is where the problem is. When Hamza is with the ball, not too dangerous, but with Mauli Wayo with the ball, it becomes difficult for opponents. And if you've watched him against 11 Wonders, he scored a very good goal, a striker's goal against Hoho United as well. He did that. It looks like he's well motivated, and he's got the confidence against Kotoko, and also Albert Amwa also having the confidence against us. Look, the 2 players to watch out for on Sundays: Albert Amwa of Kotoko, Mauli Wayo of Heart of Oak. The defenders to watch out for: Kevin Osei, as well as Samba. Midfield to watch out for is going to be Hubert Jehu and also Hussein Mohammed going to the fixture. But Parku George likely to start from the bench. Henry Kwekubuaten, the young winger, possibly starting from the bench. And for Asante Kotoko, they have complement of Kwame Poku And I know the changes that Kotoko will do, possibly Morifin doing to at the point will come out for Kwame Poku, and Saka Dada will also come out for Inusa Adams. And so Kotoko in the full 90 minutes would have their wingers operating throughout. And maybe Hearts of Oak would have to consider using Hamza Issa the entire 90 minutes, though they have Frankie Buladuku. And that is the problem. And you see Kotoko scores more in the second half. 17 goals in the second half. As compared to Hearts of Oak, who also concedes more in the second half. And so a tough one to watch out for in the big game. Let's see how Didi and Prince Owusu go into the game. Like, the comments are coming. Prince Owusu not having that back support to play the game on Sunday. I'm sure between Prince Owusu or Hamza Issa or Hamza Obeng, one of them will be taking charge of Asante Kotoko. The statistics obviously do not even favor
any of them. Yeah.
Because Hamza Obeng is yet to play
Hearts of Oak
as a coach.
With another club. Yeah. Okay.
This is Sports FM, the voice of sports.
Tough one on Sunday. Possibly, per the permutations, you know what I mean.
Well, per the permutations, it's quite clear that it's inching towards a draw. But it's inching towards a draw based on all we've heard and all we've seen. But, in games like this, there's always a talk of, Hearts Kotoko matches don't follow form guide, all of those things. We always hear that anytime Hearts of Oak and Kotoko are going to play. But this weekend, based on everything Mohammed Shaban has said, Nathan, where should we put our money?
You have to ask him on that one. where we should put our money.
I'm keeping my money in my pocket.
I mean, that's the best place. I don't know. I don't think this one will end in a draw. I think there'll be a winner.
And if there'll be a winner, which way does it?
I think it is likely to be Asante Kotoko, because I just think the attack seems to be it has more potency. Hearts have struggled for goals. Hearts are disciplined in terms of their shape and all, and Didi Dramani has coached this Hearts team to be difficult to break down. The problem is that Hearts have not scored enough, and I get the feeling that with all Kotoko having attack, they may find an opening or two, and they will try and get something. Let's not forget their recent record in Baba Yara against Hearts of Oak is relatively good. They've managed to get more wins than Hearts of Oak have done. Hearts of Oak last win is 2015. 2015, yeah. So all of that, and then you add, of course, the drama of the day, everything that's happened. Hearts will have to be very careful in this game. They need to see the game out, because if after 80 minutes is goalless, they'll have to be very disciplined to see the game out, pick a point and be happy with it. But I just get the feeling if it has to come to one team finding the breakthrough, I think it's likely to be Asante Kotoko.
Nathan has made a very good point. You see, we spoke about two things. Either the coach's records or the general statistics. And the coach's record says that one would have to win. And again, if you look at what Nathan is saying, look at the Kotoko attack. Look, if you take Saka Dada out, Inusa Adams comes. If you take Morfin and Kwame Poku comes.
Take Albert out.
Albert and lot of options.
Hearts don't have that.
If Hearts of Oak should take the first half 0-0, if you take out Hamza Issa in the game, you bring Frankie Buladuku. He's not that fearsome striker. If you take out Maui Wayo, that Heart is finished. If you take Maui Wayo out of the game, Heart of Oak is finished from the attacking point of view. What it means is that Heart of Oak will just possess the game. Now, if I want to side with him, House Karela has Midiema. Midiema dominated the game in the second half. And you see, for how long will your defense be disciplined till 90? For how long? You might
get tired, one mistake.
From maybe the one of the center backs, and eventually you concede, irrespective of how good your goalkeeper is. And maybe where Hearts of Oak would now have an advantage has to do with their goalkeeping department. Maybe they feel Benjamin Asari on any day would play a key role in helping the side to avoid defeat. But in general, it's two things to watch out for. Either a win per the coach's statistics, a general draw, but the general draw dominates
The win for either
The
half.
last two Kotoko has games in Kumasi, Kotoko have won.
Yeah.
Kotoko's last 2 home games, they've won. The last 5 games, Kotoko have won 4, drawn 1, with all the advantage. The last win, 2015, since 2010.
This is Sports FM, the voice of sports.
Baba Yara Sports Stadium, the Premier League, since 2010. And that was 2010, 2011, 2015. 2010, 2011, 2015. Only twice. This alone gives Kotoko, unlike Kotoko playing away to Hasbrook in Accra, they win. But how to going to Kumasi to win?
It's tough. It's tough.
I would say
Hearts will have to handle the game very well.
Yeah.
Very. Didi has a lot of work to do on this team.
Yeah. Well, you know, Shaban has spoken about all the stats and all the good things about the players and everything, but he's left out one thing.
What the operations?
The spiritual side.
Do you have the numbers of the spiritual
side? You know, Mo, which of the teams is spiritually stronger?
If we are going with him, spiritually.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
First game for the new MD, far too full.
Julius first.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes, he's my former boss at the Ghana Football Association, director of competitions.
Yeah.
I've worked under him for 2 years.
Okay.
And he's going to play his first.
Charlie.
Disappointment. Julius' first game is against.
So all the things he has seen as competitions manager, let's see if he can,
Right, Mo, let me say a big thank you to you for joining us on the show this morning. Hopefully, we'll be back on Monday to run the rule over everything we'll see at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium on Sunday. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And, it's a pleasure having you on the show.